Okay, everybody, Nick Dutch back again. Another subject that people don't tend to go on about all that much, but I think warrants some thought and possible discussion. And it's another one of those ideas that has more questions to it than answers. We just got to accept that and live within that truth. And I know that's very frustrating, but it's just the way it is. Do physical things affect energy? Yes, but it depends upon what the thing is and what the energy is as well. When I did my second successful astral projection, I tried to walk through a wall and I was able to do it, but it was like my body was moving through it like going through a gauze. My body was made of steam and it made a hissing sound as it moved through the wall. So that suggests that there was an actual some restriction of the wall and my astral body when moving at that speed. Silver Muldoon speaks about three different speeds that the Phantom can move, including instantaneous. So, under those conditions, it's almost like maybe your astral body is working at a different frequency, so it can just like appear somewhere else without having to force its way through a wall. So that's a hypothetical possibility. Obviously, it still remains hypothetical because we don't know. And then there's the other New Age favorite of crystals. Do they actually have some variety of energy of their own? Yes. If you were to get 10 people who were very experienced and they were all blindfolded and you told them to hold out their left hand and you placed a crystal in it and you asked them without knowing anything else about the crystal, to be able to report back what that's doing to them, you would probably get a lot of similarities between those 10 people on the basis that they're all sufficiently trained and open and aware and they can feel the energy. So things like crystals, which have some kind of almost consistent structure through them, seems to do things and contain some variety of information. What it does, again, questions, more questions than answers. But yeah, the physical thing of the astral body moving through a wall, that tells you something about the energy. The effect of crystals on a person's energy field says something about the fact that there is an interaction between the crystal and the energy field. So some of the things that Barbara Ann Brennan wrote about has been demonstrated in my life as a result of direct experience. What about other things such as woods? Within paganism, they often use magical woods, and they would etch things like runestones into them. I used to have a lovely. It was given to me as a get well present a while ago, and it was a bind rune for health. It didn't actually improve my health, as far as I knew, anyway. But this is something that people do. They take a wood which has a special meaning, and they would use that wood, and they would probably prepare it ceremonially, and maybe talk to the tree before it's cut down, and so on and so forth. I haven't personally felt very strong energy from wooden objects. I've felt them from crystals, I've felt them from all kinds of things, but not as much from wooden objects. That doesn't mean to say that the wooden object couldn't somehow be imbued with energy. And this also leads us on to thinking about what the orgone energy accumulators are, whether it's like something that people have made and built like a building, or whether it's something small and portable. I think it was D. Jason Cooper in his rune book, which came with a set of runes that I bought many years ago. It does have some very funny spelling errors in it. At the back it says it was a little bibliography, and there was a book called such and such and such. This publisher's got some great books, some with titles as appalling as this one. He meant appealing, of course. But that's just me digressing and showing that there can be little errors in these books once in a while. So crystals, yes. Wood, possibly. All right. Metals, I think so, but with metals you've got other issues going on, and there's different people that said different things about different types of metal. Barbara Ann Brennan would not even allow aluminium into the house because it's so destructive to the energy field. Now, I don't know whether that's like the extent that I should be going to at this stage in my life, but it's interesting to note that there are people out there who would be really upset if they saw an aluminium can lurking around the house because of its apparent effect upon the energy system, on the aura, and on the rest of it. But things like copper are used an awful lot in various forms of structures for orgonite type things, isn't it? Copper is used in orgonite creations. Copper is used in uh, those large like energy, what are they called? Harmonizers, and they would have crystals as well as copper piping, and they'll be of different sizes to resonate at different whatevers, you know. Are those things worthwhile investing in? I don't know. I really don't know. But my point is that there does still seem to be some variety of interaction between physical objects and the energy field. Whether that is important to your ritual practice or not is hard to say. Now, one of the interesting things is that in the school of thought of radionics, electronic devices have been made. They are devices to move orgone, spirit, energy. Okay, they use electronic components. And electronic components have things in them such as crystals. And they use copper in the wiring, you know. So there's something going on there which suggests that the radionics practitioners have been trying to study how the energy does flow, and therefore they create devices to assist you in the sending of energy, because it will go down the various components in various different ways. That adds an extra level of hypothetical understanding, not facts, not truth, not logic, not it works, okay, but hypothetical understanding to what could actually potentially be happening here. I don't think that with the average individual experimenting with ritual and all the rest of that would need to bother with that kind of stuff, because you're mainly working with yourself, your own energy field, and trying to adjust your own energy field for the purposes of creating information in the meaning of the energy field, which you can then hypothetically send out to do some work. In reality, the person who's like doing the servitor creation thing, and they're in their meditative prayerful state, they're visualizing a creature that can go out and do something for them, like communicate a message of concern to somebody they love, or that kind of thing. There's that, and then let's say there's the whole ritual practice of people using the Lesser Key of Solomon and summoning the demon Floros to go out and torture their enemies. In both of these, you got a different accent, you got a different emotionality, you got different perceptions, but in many ways, it's the same kind of thing. There's an intention which is being sent out in an altered state of consciousness of a spiritual type, with an intention behind it, with an adaptation of attention and perception, for the purposes of getting the energy field to deliver that message to that particular target. So those two things, it's based more upon your energy and energy which you can bring into play, and then making that decision to make that wish and sending, or whatever it is, and sending that out to do the task at that moment of like heightened spiritual climax within your meditation, visualization, and chanting. Yeah. Speak to you in a bit. Bye for now.